Mic check one, mic check one. Competitive crew, we are live. Back at it again. It's been a hot second, but here we are. Double checking on some settings here. Hopefully my audio is good. My meters are good. Welcome to the interwebs. All right, crew, we got a good one for you today. We are in the midst of revamping our education schedule and our education offerings because for a very long time, competitive has been the de facto stills shop in the Dallas area. If you're from the area, you know. And right now we are venturing on into the video side. So we're going to start offering you not only video eccentric equipment, but we're going to also start offering video eccentric education and events as well. That's why we are here tonight. We are going to hang out with our guest, Centeno of Fire&Smoke Studios, and we're going to get an inside look of her background, how she came up, some of her ups and downs of running a business, and some tips and tricks. And we'll also touch on what we're going to experience this weekend at the Slate when Jai's in town for her visual storytelling and creative strategy events. Sorry, I have a little lag going on right here, but we're getting with it. Give me 1 second here. So Jai is from the Miami area. She is a filmmaker. If you've been to her Instagram or you've been to her website, you can see that she's very gifted in the art of lighting. And we're going to go ahead and bring her in. From the 305, you're in the building. What is going on? Can you hear me, Jai? I'm not getting your mic. Jai, can you hear me? I think we lost her there. She'll link back up in just a second. We're having some connection issues, but in the meantime, you will hang out with me for just a second. Let's see if we can get her back on track. So recently we just came back from NAB, which was quite the experience for me. That was my first time there. Massive show, lots of cool things. And we will have an edit for that coming up pretty soon. Looks like we have Jai back. Let's add her up to the stage. Jai, can you hear me? I can hear you. Technology is amazing and frustrating at the same time. We'll give her another moment to get situated. Apparently, I can hear her, but she can't hear me because I'm talking to her and she's not responding. But back to NAB, that was quite the experience. NAB is the North American Broadcasting Show, and essentially anything that involves live streaming, production. You think NFL teams, MLB teams, TV shows, content creators, everybody is there, and all the brands are out there with their best. Got some new things to show, some new things to reveal, and we've got a video coming up, like I said earlier, with some clips from our buddies in the industry to talk about some new items that they got on the market. So stay tuned for that. If you have any questions about NB, go ahead and shoot them. We'll sit here and wait for Jai to get back. Is Competitive Cameras going to sell the new Insta360 vlog camera? I'm assuming you're talking about the Luna, the brand new dual camera handheld Osmo Pocket Fighter. And I would say that is definitely on the books. So we'll see if we can get a hold of that and give you more information as they release more information on that new product. It looks pretty interesting. I think the handheld gimbal pocket cameras market is about to heat up. The Luna with the two cameras is a different direction than GoPro's, or not GoPro, but DJI's taken in the past. But DJI did release a teaser of the new Osmo Pocket Pro with two lenses. So let's see what they've got up their sleeves. I think they're trying to play their cards a little close to the heart and waiting for Insta to come out with something and then counterpunch. So that'll be interesting. All right, crew, give me a second here. I'm going to shoot Jai an email and see if we can find out what's going on. Unfortunately, that is true, Ted. Ted said that the issue with the DJI products is currently they are not available in the US market. So hopefully we will have some change in that. I know there's a few advocacy groups out there that are creating a little bit of buzz and trying to be loud on that situation and hopefully get some change through the government. If I don't remember off the top of my head, but I will try to find the advocacy group and leave a link so you guys can join that movement and hopefully get things turned around with that, because unfortunately politics is politicking over there and we can't do anything about it as a shop, but collectively as a group, perhaps we can. All right, Jai said that her audio was not working. She's trying to figure that out. We'll give her some time. In the meantime, I'll give you kind of a rundown of future classes that we will have at the shop. We usually host classes on Saturdays on the weekends. So schedule is open for everyone to attend. Makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes we do offer classes during the week, but like I said earlier, we are trying to venture out and give more video-centric classes. And coming up, we've got a series with Canon with David Doko. He's one of their senior techs, and we're going to give you a rundown of how to use Canon products to get the shots that you want with the C50, the R6 Mark III, the C80, the C400, things like that. So look forward to that coming up. We've got the class this weekend with Jai, talking about 3-point lighting and how to film products and give it a filmmaker's perspective to tell a story to better represent the brand that you're shooting for. And we also know that there are a lot of photographers out there that have been customers of ours for a long, long time. And even the newcomers, the newbies that have gotten into photography, everybody bought these really awesome hybrid cameras. I mean, there's essentially not really any camera on the market that's technically bad. Everyone is capable. And a lot of people are afraid to switch that dial over from stills to video. So we're going to have a class that touches specifically on that, moving from just shooting stills over to the video side, because the theory and the concept is the same of creating your imagery and framing it up and lighting and everything like that. But there are some differences in how you achieve those looks, and frame rates, aperture, your exposure triangle is very different with video than it is still. So we will have a class specifically on how to tackle that, so it's not so daunting for those of you that have these amazing cameras, but you only use half of it because you're only shooting stills, but you want to shoot video. I think Jai's back. Let's add her. Can you hear us, Jai?
Yes, I can hear you guys now. Sorry about that.
Yes. All good. Welcome to the live stream, Jai. How is the 305 right now?
It's sunny and windy actually today.
Yeah. I miss the 305, the weather there. We used to, little tidbit on me. I used to run restaurants, and we used to run a restaurant on South Beach and spent quite some time out there.
Nice.
The food and the culture out there is so good. All right, Jai, let's go ahead and actually, you know what? Before we get this ball rolling, I think since you're here, we should both give a shout out to two people or two companies that helped make this happen. The event this weekend is mainly Jai doing her thing, showing us how it's done, but it is sponsored and it was presented by Tamron and Nanlite. So Chuck from Tamron, Sylvia from Nanlite, thank you very much for being a part of this. And we look forward to this weekend and getting a chance to see Jai in action and using some of your tech. All right, Jai, give everybody a rundown. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Chicago. I joined the military straight out of high school, served for 11 and a half years, got to travel the world. I got out 7 years ago, and I went straight into studying my bachelor's in film production. And I've been doing it ever since.
Okay, so where did you go study?
Film production here in Miami.
Okay, very nice. So your background in the creative side, were you always kind of interested in taking photos and making videos even while you were in the military? Did you see things like, man, I wish I had a camera with me, I could make some really cool stuff with that? Or was that something that just kind of took place after the fact and you stepped out of the military and said, I need to find something new to kind of fill these voids that I have?
I think that I've always had a thing for cameras as a kid. I always had like a little point and shoot, and I would take it
Nice.
with me on my vacations and stuff like that. Um, I just enjoyed capturing like moments and memories, but I really didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anything of it at the time. It wasn't until after the military, I was actually going to become a police officer.
Okay.
And during the same week where I was going to pick up my uniforms for the academy, I I just had a moment. I had an epiphany. Something didn't feel right, and I just decided to go all in that creative world. And I ended up just uh, taking advantage of my veteran benefits with when it comes to the tuition and school and stuff like that. So I just ended up going full time and studying my bachelor's.
Okay. So you didn't even start the academy or anything. You're just about to, and you had that feeling. Like, I need a U-turn right now.
Yeah, something just clicked in that moment. Something just clicked, and I'm like, I had a breakdown. I had a nervous breakdown. I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I know that I got out of the military to pursue my dreams, to have a little more freedom with my time, and stuff like that. But at the time, I didn't know what it was, what exactly I wanted to do. I just knew that I was very creative and I wanted to do something in that field.
Now, leading up to that moment, because I feel like if you're steps away from walking through that door to start this life as a police officer, to have a feeling strong enough to make you turn around and essentially just change the direction of your life in that moment, what moments in your past led you to make that decision? Because if you were just kind of doing it as a passion and for fun here and there, what was there anything specific that was just kind of brewing along the way and eventually that feeling got so strong that you just couldn't deny it? Or was there a specific person that kind of left a seed in you and then eventually you thought, you know what, that looks a lot nicer than going this direction, let me go this way?
I think that just being in the military for 11 years taught me that my time is very valuable, and something that I value a lot is time. I always say that, once time is gone, you never go back. So I just kind of lived with this model that I created for myself, and I actually said it at my farewell party getting out of the military. I said, if it doesn't make you happy, make you grow, or 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 make you feel free, then don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
I just didn't want to continue going down a route that I had no passion for, and I was just doing for, as a means to, to make ends meet, or
Yeah.
financial security and stuff like that. I just knew that I wanted more out of my life, and I wanted to be in control of it.
So that seems like a 9 to 5 was never in the cards,
Right.
especially having a military background. You've got to have something that kind of, I guess, gets the endorphins going and gives you some sort of excitement, right?
That's right.
That's cool. So when you decided to kind of take this path, and everyone has kind of that period of where they're kind of discovering everything, did you already start off with the intention of focusing on stills or video, or were you just kind of playing with both and kind of seeing where everything falls in place?
I had a thing for the video side first. So I started out in video. I started shooting short films, events. I started shooting tactical content here in down in South Florida. It's a big gun state. There's a lot of police officers that do a lot of tactical training here at the firing ranges,
Yes.
and just having connections with people in law enforcement and in the military. One thing led to another, and I saw like a social media ad for a tactical firearms instructor trainer based out of Arizona that was coming to Miami to give a course. He was looking for a videographer, so I actually didn't have any experience. I started off shooting with the Sony A7 III,
Mm-hmm.
very basic camera package with like a kit lens,
Yep.
and I just reached out to the gentleman on social media, and he hired me on the spot. And ever since, I just pretty much, hit the ground running when it comes to that.
What year is this?
This is 2020.
2020. So you never shot with film.
No,
Everything's been digital.
everything's been digital. That's right.
Before you got the A7 III, did you shoot with something else to
Just
kind of get your
just
feet wet?
small like point and shoot cameras.
Okay. Did you shoot video with those too?
Yes.
So when you stepped up to the A7 III, did it feel like it was a lot to take in?
For the most part, because Sonys are known to have like complicated user face menus and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So just trying to navigate around that and learn all the settings, it was a little bit difficult to grasp at first.
When you were shooting with the point and shoots, were you essentially just shooting an auto just to
On
get
auto.
footage? Yes. And then the first time you go to man, you're kind of like, wait a second.
Why is it underexposed? Why is there noise? Why is it overexposed?
This isn't how it looks in my head. All right. So when you got to the point where you thought, all right, this is going to be my livelihood, was there anything in particular that made you think, "All right, I'm not going to shoot this just as a passion, but this is going to be my source of income"? Was there something that happened, or was this something that you had kind of thought about prior to and you just said, this is the time to make it happen?
Well, I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur for sure, because of goes back to valuing my time and doing something
Yes.
that I love, and just making it work with whatever that is. Um, Before I learned that it was being a filmmaker. But I think that it was just that turning point of either going to the police academy, so getting out of the military, joining something almost paramilitary, but also still wanting my freedom and my time, and wanting to be a creative. I think that was just a turning point for me to just go all in. And with, like I said, with the veteran benefits and how they pay for like your tuition and stuff like that, I thought it would just be a great opportunity for me to go full time to school, get my bachelor's, and also work on the side and gain some experience.
Now, going back to that moment where you're about to walk in and start your career as an officer in the police academy, when you're taking those steps towards the door and that burning feeling saying, hey, this isn't the right direction, were there any other career paths in your head at that moment, or was it just strictly creative?
Just strictly creative.
Just strictly creative? That's cool. So you decide, all right, police academy is not for me. I'm going to start becoming a creative. Did you, in the beginning, try to do everything on your own, or did you find a group of friends or other filmmakers or other photographers to kind of
Sorry, I
start
think
this
I
journey?
lost our my audio's not working. I don't hear you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Can you hear me, Jay?
I'm not hearing anything at the moment.
Okay. We'll give you a second. Let's you want to log off and log back on and see if that helps? I guess you can't hear me. What an idiot.
Think my
Oh,
like receiving any audio coming in my headphones or anything. Let me see.
can you hear me now?
Can no. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, now okay. I can hear you now through my computer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have one ear in, one ear out.
No worries.
All right, sorry about that.
Oh, gravy. We're going to make it work.
Sorry. What was the last thing? Where did we leave off at?
So when you decided I'm going to do this for a living, did you try to do everything on your own at first, or did you immediately find a group of like-minded people, other filmmakers, other photographers to kind of start this journey?
Yeah, thankfully enough, there's a lot of filmmakers in Miami, so I was able to collaborate with a lot of people at first. I started going to like workshops at the local. There's like a local. It's called Filmgate. It's like a local film community that where they show short films and stuff like that. Well, I went to a cinematography workshop or something like that. And from there, I started networking with people. I always attended like any kind of creative social networking events and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I was always just trying to surround myself with other creatives so I could, get on projects, get on set, and get some experience while going to school full time as well.
So did you find in the beginning and kind of finding your footing in that in this community, was it pretty open, or was there a lot of gatekeeping and trying to keep you out and like she's too new, she's not one of us, or were they open arms?
I think that it was a mix of both. There was a mix of gatekeeping from the older crowd and also some of the younger crowd too. But I did find some people that were open and were willing to kind of show me the way a little bit here and there, or like bring me on projects as a PA and stuff like that. But yeah, as far as gatekeeping, I think that it definitely still exists. I think it just comes out of fear. I think that
Mm-hmm.
some people, the older crowd, for the older crowd, I think that they're just scared that how advanced new creatives are learning at the rate that they're learning, because there's so much information out on YouTube,
Yes.
online, and stuff like that. So I think it's much easier to get ahead nowadays, and I think that's what the older crowd fears. And then some of the younger crowd also have some kind of fear of you maybe taking their clients, or taking their shine away and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, I'm much older than you. I don't want to exactly date myself, but when I came up, it was on the cusp of film ending and digital coming into the professional space. And back then, there wasn't any YouTube. There wasn't a whole lot of internet threads or forums where people could get together and share ideas and stuff. And there was just so much gatekeeping back then because everybody held everything so secret and so close to the heart. Like they wouldn't even tell you how to shutter drag or do fill flash or anything like that. That was just their knowledge, and you can't have it unless they hired you as an assistant. So it's good to see that that's kind of going away a little bit, especially with the advent of social media and everyone just sharing stuff online for free these days. So when you first started Did you already have a niche in mind, or did you experiment and say, I don't like shooting sports, maybe I'll try this, or I
Yeah,
really like
no,
shooting food, this is it?
I didn't start with a particular niche or anything. I started with tactical events, tactical firearms training events, and live events, corporate events, um, short films, um, and documentary style type stuff.
Okay.
I didn't really, yeah, I kind of dabbled a little bit here and there. Even I forgot to mention, I also started with filming like local musicians here in Miami as well.
There's plenty of that out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really nice here. There's a lot of creatives down here.
So when you started kind of filtering out exactly what you like to shoot and how you wanted to make your money, were there any styles that you really, really enjoyed shooting on a personal level, but the financial return over on investment just wasn't there? You're like, I love this. It speaks to my
Yeah,
heart, but I can't make money doing this.
that's right. That's one of the reasons I stopped shooting music performances, because a lot of the local musicians, they really don't make a lot of money. They're
Yep.
doing it for passion as well. So I kind of geared away from that, from shooting any type of music videos or music performances.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that at some point you have to make the decision, like you said, how much is your time worth? Because it's cool to collaborate and make a lot of cool stuff, but you can only do so much for exposure, right? Before you got to start paying the bills, you got rent.
That's right.
All right, so let's talk about building out your business. In the beginning, were you a gearhead? Were you just trying to acquire all the gear? No matter, you didn't do any research on exactly what it did, but you thought, all right, I need this, or were you pretty deliberate in how you built out your gear kit?
No, I think I was pretty disciplined with buying my gear. I started off very simple with the A7 III,
Hmm.
and I was just saving up my money. It's very expensive out here in Miami, especially after the pandemic. So being a full-time student and then doing like the side hustles of corporate events, live events, and stuff like that, trying to make my own money on the side,
Yeah,
that definitely wasn't enough for me to be able to splurge on any type of camera equipment or lighting equipment or anything like that. So I kept it pretty basic, pretty simple for a while, until I was able to save up enough to buy my second and third cameras. And
same
then
bodies.
same Sony. I got Sony FX6 and Sony FX3 at the same time. I
Okay,
upgraded with a couple of lenses, a couple of Sony G Master lenses, a Sigma lens, Tamron, and then eventually I started building up my lighting package as well.
nice. Now, when you went into the first wave or two of acquiring your gear, were there any mistakes that you made early on that you felt like I lost a lot of money making that mistake that you could speak on?
No, not necessarily. I can't say that I have like that I regret spending any kind of money, because like I said, I was on a tighter budget, so I intentionally made my purchases gradually through over time.
And that's good. You're one of the smart ones. That's rare. Most of us just start buying everything that we see on the forums, like, oh, it's new. I got to get it.
Because once I'm obsessed about a topic, I research over and over and over. Like sometimes I lose sleep because I'm thinking about that one topic that I'm obsessing about, like a
Yep.
piece of gear that I want to buy. So I'll do tons of research before I buy something.
That's good. Yeah. There's a lot of times where something comes out, and I've gotten much better over the years because back in the day, it was just like, all right, put on the card. I want it. But now I have to let it kind of simmer for about a week. And it's funny because as you're in that process, every time you get on the web and you start typing something in, it pops right back up because it knows where you want to go to that same page. So you look at it like 500 times before you either decide yes or no. Is there, so with the gear, do you still feel like there's more to get, or are you satisfied with what you have?
I
Like
think right
at what point do you decide I need something new? Is it more of a it's shiny and new and it does the same thing just a little bit better? Or does it have to have just a really big jump in performance for you to bite?
It has to have a huge significance in how it's gonna make my workflow better in some type of way, for sure.
Yeah.
I haven't bought anything in a while. I'm still rocking the FX6, the FX3, the same lens kit that I have for a few years now. And the only thing that I gradually buy is lighting. But right now I'm set when it comes to my lighting with the type of work that I do. I have like 3 powerful lights, and that's all I need right now.
That's good. Now, when you bought the FX6 and you turned it on and you looked at the menu system, did you go, this shouldn't be this hard? I already own an A7 III. I know everything about a Sony, but what is this?
That's right. It was very complicated. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff on the menu in the FX6.
Yeah.
The FX3 as well, but FX6 is a little bit more, I think, complicated, the user face. But definitely, it took me a lot of hours of watching YouTube tutorials to figure out the menu, for sure.
Yeah, because I didn't expect that. When I made that jump myself, I went from A7 III to the FX3, and then a couple of years later, I picked up the FX6, and I got it maybe 2 days before a new job, and I played around with it. I was like, I'm not even going to use this on the job because there's so much more to learn with this whole cinema menu. But it's a beautiful camera. The ergonomics are what get me on that, because there's a lot of times when I shoot, the FX3 may make more sense, but I just love the way the FX6 feels in the hands. I saw you post up some reels of you testing some shots for this weekend.
I did. So I did a workshop last weekend with Chuck and with Tamron
How'd that go?
in Minneapolis, and went really well. I had so much fun. They rented out like a kitchen studio, and the product was a coffee bag product that I had in mind to do for this Dallas workshop as well. But after thinking it through, I changed the concept last minute because I was taking a look at the photos from the space that we'll be in this weekend, and I just thought that the coffee bag wouldn't have worked in that setting. It would have required much more set design to make the space look more like a kitchen set for the coffee vibe,
Yes.
So I ended up just going with a totally different concept. I spent between last night and all day today, finalizing everything and planning out the shots and the storyboards and testing out some shots just to make sure that, everything's going to look good. So I definitely, I always test out my shots before I do an actual production anyway. That's just how I work. So that's why I was testing them out today.
Do you run with a team, or are you, for the most part, pretty solo?
For the most part, I run solo for right now. I would love to have a team, but this is the way it is for right now, for sure. If I land on any like bigger projects where I can afford to pay for extra help, then I definitely do. But for the most part, I'm running the entire show by myself from pre-production to post-production.
It's a lot of work, but it's good to know everything, every part of the business, because then when you hire somebody on, you know exactly what they should be doing and you're not getting duped.
Exactly.
Can you walk us through your typical day?
Sure. So every day is a little bit different. It depends. If I'm not on a shoot, then I'm editing. If I'm not editing, then I'm working on my business side of things, admin stuff, bookkeeping, social media, marketing, stuff like that. So I think every day is different. I try to plan my month out, like where I have like back-to-back shoots, and then the other half of the month I'm editing, so I can like take a break from leaving the house and stuff like that, because I edit from home. But yeah, no, for the most part, it's kind of all over the place. 1 week I could be shooting for a couple of days, and then the next week I'll be editing for an entire week. So it just really depends.
The life of a freelancer.
That's right.
The ebbs and flows, just riding with the wave.
That's right.
So when you stepped into this profession, did you feel like there were any challenges being female in a historically male-dominated field of work?
I think coming from the military, that is the same type of scenario where it's male dominant. I've already had experience with working in that type of environment, so it wasn't too hard for me to transition into the filmmaking world and having that same kind of how do you call it? The same
Guess mindset of just
dynamic.
doing your
Yeah.
thing.
Right. Yeah.
Not letting them get down on you.
I don't let it get in my way. I do know that it's there. I can see it, I can feel it, but it just makes me work harder and stay focused. And
It's good.
you're just gonna look at my work and my work ethic, and I don't have to say anything.
Military helped you develop some thick skin.
That's right.
All right, real quick, I want to show a couple of your videos. So I will run these and hopefully I can get these on full screen, and then we'll come back and speak on them a little bit. Is that cool?
Okay.
All right.
Blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, discipline, dedication, motivation. It's not an overnight success. Although it might seem like that for a lot of people, boxing, the glitz and the glamour, the money, the fame, nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors. Your own mind is gonna talk you out of this. You're gonna doubt yourself. You're gonna question your skills, but you gotta be delusional. Like they say, you gotta be Delulu. You gotta be Delulu to get it.
الأوان وجا وقت نشوف المصير
As you in the know, work for this, pray for this, bled for this, sacrifice. Start doing it. You against you. I'm proud of you, man. Proud of you. It's your time. It's done. All that's left to do now is for me to go and do what God's calling me to do, which is shine like the star that I am. No man on God's green earth has got to take this on. Not like you saying I give him move around. Don't wait. You got it. You bring him to pull up the ropes, and then you start your attack. Okay?
Can you hear me, Jay?
Yes.
You got cut off for some reason, but okay. First of all, let me Let me get sorted here. There was some sort of a glitch that happened. How did you come across the name? How did you decide on Fire and Smoke?
So I started with a different name initially when I first established my LLC, and it was something related to aviation from my past career.
Okay.
But it didn't have any it didn't have it only made sense to people in the aviation world. So I didn't really market myself with that name. I just kind of Jay, like I just like introduced myself as Jay, as like just a freelancer. But it wasn't until actually I did a rebranding last year, as a matter of fact. I just wanted to find something simple. I wanted to just put two simple words together. And I was just thinking about it one day, and I'm like, they used to call me Sergeant Firecracker when I was in the military because they said that I was spicy. So I was like, okay, fire and smoke, because I'm gonna give you that smoke. So it's just something that just came up out of there. But also, like, to me, the fire is like the passion that I have for just creating and stuff like that. So
it's pronounced Jay.
Jay, yeah.
God, I've been calling you Jai this whole time. You didn't correct me.
It's all right. It's all good.
All right. So I don't know if you noticed, but I'm sitting in the fire. This is for you. A little red theme in the back. Fire and smoke in the house.
I see it. I like it.
All right. I'm going to pull one of these videos back up, and we can kind of talk about it as it's playing.
Okay.
Okay, shooting food. What are some of the challenges that people don't realize before getting into a set like this and shooting food that you discover on your first shoot?
Food is very interesting. I think it's kind of, at first it's kind of hard to kind of see the story, like to see the edit, to visualize the edit, because it's something as simple as shooting a cake. How do you make that look interesting?
Yeah.
So I think there's different it's just like a learning curve of like shooting food over and over, because you can only come up with so many shots, close-ups, macros, getting the textures of the food and stuff like that. So it really just pushes your creativity to make something so simple look very interesting. I think that's the hard part.
Well, I think you did a good job on that cake, because I want some.
Thank you.
That looks good.
Thank you.
All right, let's pull up this next one here. This is the farm shoots. Okay. What kind of challenges did you have on this set? Obviously, you worked with animals. You can't really direct the animals. They do what they want to do. Did that kind of extend your shoot time by quite a bit, or did you get lucky on certain shots and they listened to you and you got everything you needed to get?
I think that it was just the right timing of day. I timed it with the sunset and the sunrise. So in that one video, it's sunset and sunrise and sunset mixed in, but I kind of made it look like it was shot at the same time. So that right there is sunrise. And then there's some other golden hour shots. It's sunset. So I think it was just making sure that the timing is right so that I could hurry up and capture those moments, those intimate moments with the animals. Yeah, they you're not able to direct the animals, but I think that they were just so gentle, and it was just going with the flow. Honestly, like that donkey looking at me, he was smiling and looking at me. I didn't I didn't make him do that. It was just one of those moments where it just happened. I think that's, for the most part, that's how it is when you shoot any type of events. You're just looking for moments.
Now, on that gig, how did you come across that gig in the first place?
So that's actually like a bed and breakfast place, and it's a wedding venue space too. They have like a wedding venue thing there. And it's like a 30-acre farm. They have like a couple of Airbnb properties as well. So there's a local chef that I work with here in Miami, and she was cooking for a wedding there at that space. So I was there to get like BTS of my friend's chef. But at the
Okay.
same time, I was able to also work out a deal with the owner of the space because he wanted some B-roll for a promo video so that he could market his bed and breakfast on his website. So that's how that ended up working out.
So we have a question from Ted. He was asking, I'm assuming he's talking about the cake video, but he asked if the camera was on mic, if there was a boom, if there's a sound guy on set.
On the camera, or for the cake video,
Yeah.
no. All the sound designing was done artificially by me.
Okay. Which was a question I was going to ask you a little bit later on, but we'll go ahead and touch on that now. When you go into a shoot, do you already kind of have the sound design in mind, or do you get the footage first to get a feel for the direction and then sound design afterwards?
I sound design afterwards.
Okay. Actually, his question about the mic was about the boxing vid. Let me pull that one back up.
Oh, for the boxing video, I just had a shotgun mic plugged into the FX6.
Did you have any fight experience? I mean, prior to what they've done training in the military with, I'm sure you did a lot of hand-to-hand combat training, but did you grow up around boxers?
No, but growing up, I was into martial arts.
Okay. I'm asking because some of these perspectives that you got in this video, I don't think anybody that doesn't have experience in some sort of combat sport would have thought to get. This is a really well done video. I like it a lot.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. No, yeah, I have a thing for combat sports and boxing, martial arts, MMA and stuff like that. So I grew up, like I said, I grew up in martial arts, but I've always wanted to box, never had the opportunity to, but it is one of my favorite sports for sure.
So that was mainly shotgun mic, and then you just kind of cleaned it up in post?
Yeah, that was shotgun mic and then some of my own sound design as well.
Okay. Where are you using one specific resource for your sound design?
I'm
Or do
using
you have
Motion
multiple?
Array, Artlist, and Envato sometimes for some sound effects.
Okay. Do you usually go into a project with a storyboard, or do you show up with kind of a loose curriculum or a loose agenda of what you want to get and just go with the flow?
It depends on the shoot. If I'm doing something more commercial, I'm going to come in with a shot list and a storyboard. If I'm doing something documentary, I'll probably write up a basic shot list just to make sure that I get like the essential coverage that I envision. But documentary style stuff is really just capturing those intimate moments that
Yeah.
people usually don't think about.
The spontaneous stuff is what
Correct.
really hits quite a bit. Good stuff, Jay.
Thank you.
I like it a lot. Let's pivot back to some of the business talk for this year. And let's talk about partnerships and social media. All right. So what were some of your earlier partnerships and how did those come about?
Some of my earlier partnerships were through social media, just reaching out to people through social media and
Just
just
cold
kind of
calling,
like,
essentially.
exactly, just cold calling and just kind of like elevator pitch. Whatever I thought of, I tried to maybe evaluate their website or evaluate their social media channels and see how I can make a difference or bring some kind of value or something like that. And that was mainly my strategy when I reached out to people at first.
Now, when you think back on those early days of communicating and trying to sell yourself, were there any mistakes that you made that you could share with other people to kind of help them progress a little bit quicker and not make the same mistakes early in the career?
I mean, I'm sure I made so many mistakes that, I'm still learning today how to correct those. But for sure, I think that it goes back to me valuing my time. I think that if you're gonna partner up or collaborate with somebody and do some free projects, to to get something on your portfolio or to get experience, I think for sure you got to look out for yourself. Make sure it's benefiting you, your pocket, or your portfolio. Because I've been taken advantage of by directors, by the older crowd too, like the older filmmakers. I've been taken advantage of, like one whole week of full-time working camera operating for 12 hours, no pay for the entire week, and they're promising exposure, promising me more jobs, promising more opportunities. So I think that, and without any protection on my end too, no contract, no, I didn't even get rights to be able to use the footage for my portfolio or anything like that. So I think that those were the mistakes that I made early on. So I definitely make sure I protect myself and make sure it's going to value me, my portfolio, or my pocket, or make a valuable connection with somebody.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the unfortunate truths is most people go into something expecting the best of people. And unfortunately, that's not always their intent. So you always have to have some sort of a safety net. And the sooner you realize that you have to protect yourself, the better, because somebody could still be using your imagery 15 years down the road and making a ton of money on it, and you're not getting anything, right?
Not just using your imagery, but also using your likeness as well without you even knowing.
Yeah. Especially with AI now, they just start throwing stuff up you don't even know. And it's so easy for them to do it. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's scary.
So on those early partnerships that were successful, what do you take from those and how do you try to recreate that, I guess, keep that going into future relationships? Like, what have you found from past partnerships that you are must-haves for future partnerships now?
Honestly, I think it's about the connection I have with the client or whoever I'm trying to partner with, like in terms of like, if they're giving me creative freedom or they respect and value my time, because you can tell all of those things when you talk to somebody or when you work with somebody, if they value your time, if they respect your time.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, just respect for my time, creative freedom, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the things I look for when I collaborate with somebody.
So in present day, are you still navigating partnerships, or do they, for the most part, come to you? How's that part of the business work?
It's still a mix of both. I'm getting, people reaching out to me from word of mouth, but I'm also still reaching out to people as well.
Okay. And social media, how has that been a part of your business? What does that mean to you?
I think social media is an amazing tool for visibility, for exposure, and also to showcase your portfolio as well, and to connect with people, with potential clients or other people that you want to collaborate with. It's a great tool for sure.
Do you read all the comments?
I do read all the comments and I answer them too.
Even the negative ones?
If it's negative, I might just ignore it.
Yeah. That's one of those lessons you have to learn eventually. You can't respond to everybody because you can't make everybody happy.
That's right. And so many people will have so many things to say as well. So
No.
you just
Especially on YouTube. It's a cesspool of just going back and forth for no reason.
Exactly.
When people ask you, why do you charge what you charge? What's your quick response? Because for better, for worse, with the invention of the smartphone and making entry-level cameras really affordable, and the barrier to entry into creating imagery these days is a lot less and a lot lower than it has been in the past. So people just assume, hey, you already have a phone, you have a good camera on it, or that camera only costs you $500. Why are you charging this much to make images for me? What's your quick response when people react like that?
I usually say, well, we could go down on the budget if you want to, but I'm just going to be a camera operator. I'm just going to show up and you tell me where to point the camera and I'll shoot whatever you tell me to do. Otherwise, I can provide you strategy, experience, direction, you know, expertise on the whole entire process from pre-production to post-production. But if you don't want that, I could totally just show up with my camera and you tell me what to shoot.
That's funny. I've never thought of that approach. That's pretty awesome. Because then they're probably caught off guard. Like
it usually works too, actually.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk real quick about this upcoming event at Competitive. We are going to have you live on set on Saturday at the Slate. The event is how long? 2 hours? Hour and a half. I forgot.
I think it's 3, isn't it? 10 to 1?
It might be 3. Okay. Yeah, you're correct. All right. It's called Storytelling with Visual Strategy. Think like a filmmaker and create visuals that serve both story and brand. Can you give the listeners or the viewers a sneak peek into what to expect? What should they bring? What will they get to see? Just all the details.
Yeah, so we're just going to go over a quick little lecture at first. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I approach a concept, how I get into my pre-production, you know, some of my mood board, shot listing and storyboarding process, how I, you know, make the decisions that I make in terms of my lens choices or my creative direction or my product styling, things like that. Then I'll talk a little bit, very, very basic overview of lighting philosophy, nothing crazy, because lighting we can talk about that all day long. That's a whole nother world. So just a quick basic overview of the type of lighting that we'll be using on set, specifically on that day. And then after that, we'll break down into groups depending on how many people are showing up. And we have a shot list and some storyboards. There's about 6 main shots that I want to accomplish with everybody. How I'm going to break them up right now, I'm not sure. It depends on how many people show up. But my idea is to have everybody get in a couple of shots and just kind of see how I shape light, how I'm moving the light for each shot to, you know, make sure that the product stands out and is, you know, there's some separation and cinematic depth in the shot as well. After that, I'm going to go really quickly through my editing process. You're not going to be able to see the whole thing because, again, that would be like a whole nother lesson for another day.
Yeah.
But you'll just kind of see me really quickly throw all the footage in the timeline and just kind of create a quick little video for everybody to see.
So they're getting a little taste tester of the whole process.
That's right.
And it's interactive. So you hear that, people? If you're going to show up to the class, bring your camera and you get to shoot on set so you can take some stuff home and try to edit on your own and see if you can pull a little inspiration from Jay and try to get some of that moody lighting and the punchy colors. That's kind of your signature. Is that what it is? The punchy colors and the real visceral sounds is what Ted's asking.
Yes, that is my style. I love anything like moody or dramatic, dark. It's just something that I've been gravitating to since I started filmmaking. So
that's kind of the foundation of what you're going to be speaking on in terms of the lighting, how to get the mood.
That's right.
So much. Okay.
That's correct. It's basically how to build the world the product lives in, just with lighting and, you know, subtle camera movements or, you know, other decisions that you make.
Now, Ted asked about the lighting on set. This set for this weekend will be continuous lighting, but do you ever shoot with strobes, Jay?
If I'm doing like photography, product photography, yes, I use strobes.
Okay.
But for video, I'm using continuous.
I'll go ahead and let you go in a second because I know we had to change the time because you're pressed for time. I don't want to take up too much. This has been great, but I do have some rapid fire questions for you. Are you ready to play this game?
Uh-oh.
There's nothing too crazy. All right. When Jay is crushing edits, she's on a deadline. She's got to get this done. What is she listening to when she's not doing sound design?
Oh, that's a good question. I listen to a little bit of everything. It depends on my mood. It depends how I feel, because editing Editing is draining. It's mentally draining, but it's also physically
People
draining.
don't understand how draining it is.
Yeah, so sometimes I might put some house music on to get
There you go.
get me pumping. I might put
Very
some
fitting for the 305.
some Latin music. My
Uh-huh.
background, my family's from Puerto Rico, so I listen to a lot of Caribbean Latin music.
Boricua.
That's right. Yeah, sometimes some hip hop and stuff like that. Just depends on my mood, really.
Gotcha. When you are super stressed out, what do you do to alleviate that and center yourself? Do you work out? Do you play video games? Do you read? Do you paint?
I'm a big fitness head. I've been playing
Okay.
sports my whole life. I've been working out hardcore since I was, since I joined the military at 18. It's a big part of me. Fitness means a lot to me. So every morning I wake up at the same time. I go to bed at the same time. I go to bed by 8:30 p.m., 9 p.m. I'm in bed, and I wake up every morning at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm at the gym by 5 a.m. every single day.
That is regimented.
Every single day. It's like my meditation. It's my therapy. It sets the tone for the day. But also this job, this line of work is very taxing on the body. When you're shooting, when you're even sitting down for 8 hours editing, taxes the body. So I always tell people, especially women, if you're in the grip department, grip and lighting, or camera department, I always especially tell women, you better be in the gym working out, because carrying those flight cases, those Pelican cases full of lenses and equipment, or pushing the camera parts, is not easy. So,
and if you're not ready, you'll blow a back out real quick.
Yep.
How do you like to work out? Are you old school, just strength training, bodybuilding, CrossFit, HIIT style?
I do a little bit of everything. I'm like a hybrid athlete. I do some running. I do some HIIT, some high intensity interval training. I do a little bit of CrossFit, some Olympic lifts, weightlifting. But I like to play sports and stuff too.
Are we gonna see Jay at High Rocks?
Maybe. What I wanted, I want to do a Spartan race.
Oh, those are fun. We did a couple back in the day. It's fun.
And there's another one too that I saw recently. It's called Tactical Games, and so it's kind of like High Rocks. CrossFit had a baby mixed with shooting. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that I'm interested
really cool.
in that one.
All right, what piece of photographic equipment did you get rid of but wish you still had? Something that you sold in the past and you thought, man, I shouldn't have sold that.
I don't think anything, to be honest with you.
Because you're very methodical on your equipment lists.
That's right.
We already covered that. Do you add lime juice on everything?
No.
Because that was my biggest thing when I moved to South Beach. I was like, everybody serves you a wedge of lime for everything.
Really?
Like, what is going on? That and the cilantro.
Oh, I haven't seen that actually.
Cafecito or coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee. How do you like your coffee?
Black.
Black? Nice.
Black or like a espresso macchiato. So a little, like a double shot with just a little bit of milk. Very little bit of milk.
What is worse for you? A client that knows exactly what they want, but micromanages the whole process to where it feels like it's not even you being creative anymore, or a client that just doesn't know what they want and says, the usual, I don't know, you're the artist, make it happen.
You're asking me which one?
Which one is harder to work with? Which one's more challenging?
I think they're both challenging in their own ways. Because remember that creative freedom that I told you I need to have when I partner up with somebody. That's very important to me, because I don't like feeling like I'm in a chokehold, because I'm not going to produce my best work if you don't trust me or allow me that creative freedom. But at the same time, I don't like working with people who don't know what they want at all, because in their minds, they have a certain expectation, even though they don't think so. So when you go and, produce something that you think is okay for them, they turn around and come back with like, oh, can you change this? Can you change that? They become very, very needy. I call those people the cheap clients, because I end up working more, like 3 times more on that particular project for less money than somebody who knows what they want.
That was one of those things that I learned the hard way also. And if I even get a sense that they're like that during the vetting process, I go ahead when I finally quote the job. A lot of it's based on hours instead of just a final project price. Because it sounds like you've been through that experience where you turn in an edit and they're like, oh, but I wanted this instead, or can you do this and do that? And can you change the music? It's like, we could have had this discussion a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Do you prefer to shoot tethered or free range?
For photography, tethered. For product shots, absolutely, because I don't want to miss anything in the frame. Like,
Yes.
especially because I do product shots, you can see like dust or fingerprints or whatever, you know. I don't want to miss anything and have to reshoot it again. That's a waste of time and a waste of money for me. So I definitely use tethering when I do product photos, and then when I do any product videos or just videos in general, I have like a 7-inch monitor that I plug into my FX6, and I'm looking at that like really, really thoroughly. If I'm on a bigger set, if budget allows, I'll get like a director's monitor with the wireless transmitters and all of that stuff. But usually it's just me, so I'm just rocking the 7-inch monitor on my camera.
When you're doing food shoots, do you always get to eat the food, or are they?
Sometimes, because sometimes we're dropping like glycerin and stuff like that on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes I get to eat it though.
It's a good bonus. You're sounding funny. I'm gonna tell you. I was showed up to a food shoot one time. We were shooting for an Italian restaurant that they wanted a new collateral on their steaks, and these guys had never really shot before. And when I showed up to shoot, got the table ready, got the lighting ready, I was like, all right, let's go ahead and bring the steaks out. Guy brought out raw steaks. I was like, don't you want to cook these first?
That's funny.
But we got to eat the steak, so it made the wait worth it. All right. When did you decide? So here's one of the biggest challenges for people that are creative that I found, because I used to work in a studio, and hiring talent was tough because there are very, very talented creatives, and then there are creatives that understand business, and somewhere in the middle is a perfect candidate. But the super creatives are not good at understanding that shooting for profit, like you are as a business person, that there is a line you have to cross, and it's commerce. So they can't meet deadlines because they're always finagling, they're always fine-tuning, they're always doing that, and they're putting too much of their emotion into what they're creating, and they can't make a deadline to make the money. So at what point did you decide, all right, I understand that there is a difference between the art and the commerce, and I need to find my middle to make this work?
That's a good question.
Because everyone, when they start, whether it be intentional or not, with taking pictures or making videos, is always experimenting, right? You always have the freedom of trying new things and taking as much time as you want to finalize it. But at some point, you just got to turn it in, because if you don't, you could always work on something forever and not end.
I think as long as whatever's in the scope, like whatever was agreed upon in the beginning during like those initial conversations during pre-production, as long as I'm delivering like the main overall goal, the main overall result, what we're going for, I think that's where I just stop.
But was there, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, was there a moment that you realized as you stepped into this field, oh, this is more than just creating pretty stuff, I have to treat this as a business? Or did you go into that knowing? Because if you did, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I had like a defining moment where I said I need to like make money off of this, or I need to act more like a business. The only thing that did change for me was I used to operate more like a freelancer, and now I operate more like a company, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I used to operate more like trying to find those contractor jobs with bigger production companies or other people, like other directors that needed a cam op or needed a PA or needed a grip. Now I actually turn those gigs down because I don't want to work for somebody else's production, because I end up not getting like what I need from it as far as like my portfolio or even for my time getting paid as much as I'm worth. So I think I've been just very very selective of what projects I take on and just making sure that it makes sense for me as a business rather than as
That's
a person.
good, because not everybody had that ability to differentiate that when they step into it. And I think that's a reason why a lot of people start and don't follow through, because they don't understand that, hey, there is a definitive end to certain things and you have to turn it in to make that money. Otherwise, you're just stressing yourself out because you're so dedicated to creating the craft that you can't let certain things go. If Jay was not a professional photographer, what would she be?
I don't know, maybe something in the fitness field, like a personal trainer or something like that.
Okay. In a good area for that too. Everyone likes this. Exactly where are you in Miami, by the way?
In North Miami.
Okay.
Off 123rd and Biscayne.
Okay, nice. Good area. All right. That is it for me, Jay. Thank you very much for your time. I look forward to catching up with you in person. When do you get in town? Friday?
Friday.
What time?
In the evening. I think it's like 7 p.m. or something like that. I gotta double check.
Okay. Well, when you get in town, give me a shout if you have any questions about where to go, what to eat. I'll definitely steer you in the right direction.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
If there's anything you'd like to say to people that are watching, what would you like to say to them? Anything motivating?
Yeah, there's
positivity out there.
There's one line that I always say, and I'm actually gonna make a t-shirt out of it. I always say, keep creating or die.
There we go. Keep creating or die.
Yep.
Words by Jay. All right. Thank you very much. You have a good night.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. I'm looking forward to this weekend, and we're gonna have a lot of fun.
We will. Let's get it. Bye.
Bye. Have a good one. Good night.
You too. All right, competitive crew, thank you for tuning in. If there's any questions that you didn't get to ask, or if you caught on late or you're watching this later and want to ask, go ahead and leave it in the comments, or you could email me at andy@competitivecameras.com. Remember that we are your go-to source for all things photo and video, and with gas prices going up, if you don't want to drive to the shop, even though you're in the area, remember that we have free 2-day shipping on all orders over $99, even if you're in the Metroplex, especially if you're in the Metroplex. This Saturday, I will leave a link for the event if you're in the area and want to attend. It is a 3-hour course. Like Jay said, it goes from storyboarding to light setup, getting the mood, setting the tone, all the way to the editing process. So this is a very interactive course from start to finish. You should learn a lot on how to filmmake and help your brands that you're shooting for tell a better story. Again, thank you so much, everybody. And stay on the lookout for our NAB recap. That should be out in the next day or so. And you can keep in touch with us via email or keep in touch with our events page to see what's coming around the corner, because we have a lot for you. Also, don't want to forget, 2 weeks from now, April 30th through May 2nd, one of the 2 biggest sales events of our calendar year, the Spring Expo, is about to happen right now. We've announced that we will have 15% off bags, 15% off tripods, 15% off filters and filter sets, 50% off insurance policy, warranty policies, protection plans is what you call it. If you drop your camera, if you drop it in water, spill something on it, everything's covered. And we also have one more announcement coming up that's big, so stay tuned for that. But April 30th through May 2nd, got big savings coming up, so stay tuned. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. We'll catch you in the next one.